we have some or the other little bit of sincerity within us, right? I'm not sure about you all, but I'm sure about myself that I think that I'm trying to be sincere in my efforts. Why I tell you? Because as it's very nicely explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? That labdhva sudur labhamidam bahu sambhavante manusyam arthadam anityam api hadira turnam yatet na patet anumrityu yavat nihishya saya vishya khalo sarvatasya. So it is said that it is stressed on the importance of human life. Right? I know that all of you have heard about you are not this body, you are the soul, thousands and millions of times. But we are not accepting that fact, right? And that's the I think, according to me, what I feel is that that's the issue because of which we are not sincere in our efforts in devotion life, right? So this verse talks about that labdha sudur labhamidam. It's very rare. We durlabh, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना durlabh कोई चीज है. Durlabh means rare, and sudurlabh means very rare. So it is said that this human form of body is very, very rare, and it is temporary. If it is temporary, then it has a birth and it also has an correct. So that's why a sane person or an intelligent person, which I think you all are, is who rather than investing his time in doing activities for sense gratification, is utilizing this time in learning or hearing something about God. Right? So that's why Prabhupada also in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita talks about this, that repetition of matter is important to understand the concept thoroughly without any error. Right? So we are repeating these things again and again, that you are not the body, we are the soul, we are considering ourselves as a body. Why are we repeating these terms? We are repeating this because just by repeating it, some or the other day, we'll be able to accept that fact. Right? Because currently we don't know the importance of this, right? The demigods, demigods, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, you have heard about them, right? So they, in one of their prayer, they praise us. They praise the human beings. Aho amisham ki makari shobhanam prasanna esham sveduta swayam hari. They say that aho amisham ki makari shobhanam, that these human beings have either performed some pious activities in their previous life, मतलब कुछ ऐसे कार्य किए उन्होंने जो बहुत पुण्य है, या तो भगवान स्वयं उनसे खुश है. ठीक है, जैर जन्म लब्धनिषु भारत आजिरे, दैट्स व्हाई दे आर एबल टू टेक बर्थ इन द लैंड ऑफ भारतवर्ष. पहले भारतवर्ष वाज नॉट जस्ट इंडिया, इट वाज ऑल द 7 कॉन्टिनेंट्स, 7 आइलैंड्स जो है वर्ल्ड में, मिडिल ईस्ट, यूरोप, ये सब, एवरीथिंग. अर्लियर एवरीथिंग वाज कॉल्ड एज भारतवर्ष, everything was Bharatvarsha, the same thing. So they are saying that aho amisham ki makari shobhanam prasanna esham sveduta swayam hari jair janma labdhanishu bharat ajire mukund seva paikam sprahahina. So they say that they have obtained that human form of life and they are able to get that opportunity to serve Lord Krishna or Lord Hari. But about us, we are not able to get that opportunity. Although our lifespan is more than that of human beings, 100 years, मतलब 100 years वहाँ का it's very more, right? We are enjoying everything, we have all the opulence, but what is the problem? We are not able to get an opportunity to serve Lord Krishna, right? So this is the importance of getting this human form of life. That's why every day we should at least try to push us to think about this thing, that though I am not this body, I am a soul, but I have to do something at least on that level. Whatever it may be, even a small thing, to chant one, sing one round, to read one shloka of Bhagavad Gita, anything, right? Because it will just, what it will do, it will bring near to Krishna, right? It will bring us near to Lord Krishna, right? So we'll try to, and Kumbh is going on these days. So how many of you have went to take a bath in Kumbh? सुहास प्रभु? No. No. सुहास प्रभु के घर में ही बीच है, बाजू में बीच है ना, उधर ही वो स्नान करके बोलते गंगा नदी में स्नान हो गया. कार्तिक प्रभु आप गए थे? नहीं गए थे. Okay. So in Kumbh, if you will see, there are different type of people, there are different type of groups, akhadas that are coming there, right? They are doing different types of things there. But within the ISKCON camp, if you will see, within the room of ISKCON camp, in every room, there is a poster that has been kept. And that poster, in that poster, one line of Srila Prabhupada is mentioned. It is just there so that all the people could meditate on that line. It is said, the Prabhupada, I am not able to quote exactly line by line, but the essence is that Prabhupada says that we are not here to, the ideal mentality of the people to go into Kumbh is to पाप धो देंगे और मोक्ष की प्राप्ति हो जाएगी. ठीक है, दिस इज द आइडियल मेंटालिटी, राइट? एनीबडी विल आस्क, दे विल टेल यू द सेम थिंग कि पाप धोने जा रहा हूँ, राइट, और मोक्ष के लिए जा रहा हूँ. बट प्रभुपाद सेज दैट वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू कुम्भ टू गेट लिबरेटेड और फॉर मोक्ष, because a person who chants Krishna is already beyond that level. But why are we going there? Prabhupada says we are going there to preach. We are going there to spread the mission of Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya. We are going to do that, and we are going there for doing it. So that's why in every room in Kumbh, if you will see, that sticker or that pamphlet has been there, so that people may not get diverted from that thought process. Because it's a very difficult thing. There are 100 different groups. Your mind can easily get diverted. कि वो कितना अच्छा योग कर रहे हैं, ये क्या कर रहे हैं, वो क्या कर रहे हैं. There are different type of austerities people are doing. But unless and until with that austerity you are not able to get Lord Hari, it is of no use. Aradhito yadi hari tapasa tatakim, na aradhito yadi hari tapasa tatakim. If you are performing an austerity, but that austerity is not able to get you to Lord Hari, the ultimate aim जो आपको नहीं मिल रहा है, then what is the use of that austerity? And if you are performing an austerity where you are getting Lord Hari, then what is the use of, then why you need to perform that austerity, right? So coming back onto our topic, today we will be discussing, we have very short time, we will discuss about the 22nd shloka of Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter. Everyone can use their phone. 3rd chapter, 22nd shloka. Okay. So should I read now? Na me parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana na vaptam vaptavyam varta eva cha karmani. Na me parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana नानावाप्तम वाप्तव्यम वर्त एव च कर्मणि. नाम पार्थस्ति कर्तव्यम त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन न अनाप्तम वाप्तव्यम वर्त एव च कर्मणि. Recite anybody? 22, 3rd chapter, verse number 22. तीसरा अध्याय, श्लोक श्रृंखला 22. दोहराइए प्रभु. न मे पार्थस्ति त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन न अनावाप्तम वाप्तव्यम वर्त एव च कर्मणि. ना मे पार्थस्ति कर्तव्यम त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन न अनावाप्तम वाप्तव्यम वर्त एव च कर्मणि. गोविंद ना मे पार्थस्ति कर्तव्यम त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन नानावाप्तम वाप्तव्यम वर्त एव च कर्मणि. Okay, we'll read the translation. I'll read it. Okay. O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I have a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. Purport. By translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is described in the Vedic literature as follows. Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram, Tam Devatanam Paramam Cha Devatam, Patim Patinam Paramam Parastad, Vidama Devam Bhuvanesha Vidyam, Natasya Karanam Cha Vidyate, Na Tat Samascha Abhyadikascha Drishyate, Parasya Shakti Vidreva Shruyate, Sabhavaki Jnana Balak Kriyacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the controller of all the controllers, and he is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under his control. All entities are delegated with a particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. He is also worshipped by all the demigods and is the supreme director of all directors. Therefore, he is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipable by all. There is no one greater than him, and he is the supreme cause of all causes. He does not possess a bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between his body and his soul. He is absolute. All his senses are transcendental. Any one of his senses can perform the action of any other senses. Therefore, no one is greater than him or equal to him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus his deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence. Shveteshwatar Upanishad 6.7 and 8. Since everything is in full opulence in the personality of Godhead and is existing in full truth, there is no duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead to perform. One who must receive the results of work has some designated duties, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary systems certainly has no duties. And yet, Lord Krishna is engaged on the battlefield of Kurukshetra as the leader of the Kshatriyas, because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. Although he is above all regulations of the relevant scriptures, he does not do anything that violates that revealed scriptures. Okay, so I'll just read the second shloka also, it's in the same context. I'll read the shloka, I'll read the translation, okay. यदि हि अहम न वर्तेव्यम जतु कर्माण्यतांद्रित मम वर्तमान वर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वसः. For if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. In order to keep the balance of social tranquility for progress in spiritual life, there are traditional family usages meant for every civilized man. Although such rules and regulations are for the conditioned soul and not Lord Krishna, because he descended to establish the principles of religion, he followed the prescribed rules. Otherwise, common man would follow in his footsteps. Because he is the greatest authority from the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is understood that Lord Krishna was performing all the religious duty at home and out of home as required of a householder. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushe Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyayate Deshatarane. Hare Krishna. So, in today's verse, right, we'll get to know something very special. So, whenever we meet someone, right, when you meet any stranger person, what are the questions that we ask to them? क्या लगता है? आप किसको कोई स्ट्रेंजर, आप किसी अनजान व्यक्ति से मिलोगे तो आप उसे क्या प्रश्न पूछोगे? What is your name? कार्तिक प्रभु, बस, that's it. आप स्पेशल, हाँ एग्जैक्टली. कहाँ जाते हो तो बाद में पूछोगे, थोड़ा रिलेशनशिप होगा तब पूछोगे ना कहाँ जाते हो. अचानक से देखा किसको, अरे हाँ कहाँ जा रहा है, वो थोड़ा. First you will ask the name of that person, right? Once you get to know the name, you will tell your name, and then you will ask like, what are you doing, right? So you will ask them, what are you doing? अब उसको पूछोगे आप क्या करते हो, right? So ideally, what we get an answer when we ask someone what you are doing, you will get a lot of answers, right? Someone will say that, Prabhu, I am working, I am studying, I am doing some diploma course, I am in the council member of meeting of my college, right? People will give different opinion in terms of their work that they do, right? But there are also people that will say that I am not working currently, but I am trying to find some job, or I am trying to do something in term of my finding a job. But when you ask this question to Lord Krishna says that I am not working. Why do we work first of all? Like whenever we see someone working, what is the main aim of working? There is a need, there is a want, right? He wants something. It's in general term, if you will see, it's the need is money. If somebody is working, whatever job role he or she may be, what is the ultimate purpose for that? To earn money, right? That's why you need to work. That's why in this purport, if you will see, Prabhupada says this thing that one who must receive the results of work has some designated duty, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary system certainly has no duty. So Krishna is said to be someone who has no duty within this material world. Isn't it special? It is special, right? Because I personally, when I come across any person, what I find is that they are working, or they are doing some or the other thing. In this material world, even if you don't do anything, you are still doing something. Bhagavad Gita it is said, nahi kaschit shanam api jatutisthani karmakrit karyate hi avasya karma sarva prakriti jair guna. So the modes of nature are so strong that even though you are not doing anything, but still you are bound by that mode. So recently, I think there was a video I just came across wherein there was a person who took up a challenge of 24 hours of doing nothing. He kept a screen in front of him for himself to get recorded, and he was just sitting like this for 24 hours. He wanted to show people that he took a challenge of 24 hours of doing nothing. But he doesn't know that by not performing his duty, whatever he may be doing, still the modes of nature are acting on that person. Right? There are people who I have seen, these are some videos, this is not something that I search, I eventually come across. So there was one more video that I just came across, was that a person in Germany or Greece, some either 20-30 years ago, he took a ice, itna bada ice ka slab रहेगा, and he was just pushing that ice slab for around, let's say 7 to 8 hours. He wanted to show the art of doing nothing in terms of like, he just wanted to push the ice. After a point of time, it will turn into a ball, and then he will kick that ice. So he wanted to show that actually the ice over the period of time it turns into water and then nothing there. But what he is doing, he is actually doing nothing. He just 8 hours or 7 hours, whatever he did, he just wasted that time by just pushing the ice for the entire time. All the people are passing across the metro, people are going to their job, some people are coming, and that person is just passing. So we can just see people are, what different kind of activity the people are interested about in this world, right? Even if they don't have anything, they will try to find something, right? Which is not worthy. So this verse essentially tells us that Krishna is trying to give himself as an example to Arjuna. In the previous verses, Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight, to do his prescribed duty, but Arjuna was refraining to do that. Right? Krishna gave an example of Maharaj Janak. Right? Then Krishna also talked about Yajara Achariti Shrestha, that whatever act or example a great man follows, the same thing the common men are able to do. The common men get inspired by that thing, right? But now, to make Arjuna more convinced of this philosophy, Krishna is giving an example of himself, so that Arjuna will have more confidence, or he will get inspired by the words of Krishna. Right? That's why he says, Na me parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana na anavaptam avaptavyam varta evacha karmani. He says that Na me parthasti kartavyam, that O Pritha, O son of Pritha, O Arjun, I don't have any duty to perform within this three material world. Right? That's why you will see in this verse, these two shlokas from Sheteshwara Upanishad talks about a lot of things, right? They talk about how they are glorifying Krishna essentially, how Supreme Lord is. He has created everything, but he is not doing anything. It's very difficult to understand, right? कि मतलब कोई कैसे कुछ नहीं कर सकता है. Because whatever we are seeing in this world, we are seeing that anybody's some or the other result or an action is attached to a person. Even though you are listening now, you are doing nothing, but still you are listening. So that is an action that is attached to you in terms of listening, right? And whatever reaction you will give afterwards in terms of your speaking. So we see that even in this world, when we take an example of Lord Krishna, we see that he is one of the supreme person, right, who has nothing to do with. We can take a very casual example to just understand it, right? If there is a very big company, very big, let's consider Amazon or something very big company within Silicon Valley, what you would see, there are employees are working, they are getting their wages, the CEO is also working, but the founder of a company, what he will do? He will just come in, he will just listen to what are the things going, he will just leave and he will come to home. So actually he is not doing anything. Directly he is not doing anything, but what is happening indirectly? The action are being performed within his company. Right? In the same way, we see that Krishna is Swarat in Srimad Bhagavatam, as Prabhupada talked about, right? The verse comes, the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam talks about that. Janmadi asyayato anvayat cha artheshu abhigna swarat tene brahmarida adi kavye muhyanti yad surayah tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisarva amrisa dhamna shvena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. So the Lord in that verse is known as Satyam Param, the absolute truth. In our understanding, right, if we will try to understand this term truth, जब हम truth को समझना चाहते हैं ना, सत्य को, Prabhupada in his purports write about this thing that there are two ways to understand the truth. There are two truths. One is relative truth and one is absolute truth. How can you understand what is absolute and what is relative? ठीक है? Relative is something that is not present in the three structure, past, present and future. Right? So, past, present and future. Relative truth is that, which is not present in all the three aspects, but absolute truth, Krishna is present in past, in future, in present and in future. That's why he knows everything. We see a very prominent example in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter, right? Where Arjuna asked Krishna that, Krishna, you are saying that you have spoken this knowledge to the sun god Vivaswan. How can I believe that? I mean, I don't think so, because you and me both are of the same this thing, right? I have seen you from childhood. How can I believe that? Then what Krishna says? Krishna says this thing, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tav Arjuna tani ham veda sarvani natvam veda. No, he says that this is not the verse. Essentially, I'm just missing that. Do you remember that verse, bro? Okay. Anyways, Krishna talks about that there many births has been passed, where I remember everything about, but you are not able to recall that. Right? So he talks about that. There are many births that has been passed. I am able to recall it, but oh Arjuna, you are not able to recall this thing. He is talking about that. Bahuni me vyatitani, it is the right word, sorry. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tav Arjuna. Bahuni means many births have been passed to Arjuna, but tani aham veda sarvani, I know all of them, but you are not able to remember that. Right? So that is something that we can understand. The Lord is present in all the three phases and He is able to remember all these three things. That's why He is known as Absolute, Param, in this world. Okay. Now we see that, and in the next verse, right, Krishna talks about that although there is no duty for me, but I am still performing the duty. So the question comes, why he is performing the duty? अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि मेरे को कुछ काम नहीं है मेरे लिए, तो आप क्यों काम करोगे? लॉजिकली सोचो, हमारे स्तर पे सोचो. Don't think from the point of view of God. Let's just think from our point of view, right? If you have no work, let's say if everything दरी बिछा हुआ है, टेबल रखा है, everything is there. So there is nothing for you to do. But still Krishna says that still I am engaged in performing my duties. Why? Because in the next verse, in the purport, Prabhupada writes that Krishna has came here to establish the principle of dharma. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvati bharata. That whenever the principles of religion are diminishing or falling down, at that time I reappear. And I ensure that I am establishing those principles again and again. Right? So from his example, Krishna is teaching us essentially how to engage in our prescribed duties through Arjuna. First, Krishna is trying to make Arjuna understand that how you should engage in performing your duties. That's why we see that whatever the plan of Krishna is, it's always good. You know, we had heard a story of a Japanese businessman who had came from Japan, and he was he had a lot of question in terms of the creation of God. He was asking that, why God has created this big fruit in a small creeper and a small fruit on a big tree. What is the purpose of that? I think your God is senseless. He doesn't has any sense per se. Then what happened? That the same Japanese person, he was a bit tired, he was feeling drowsy. He just, he saw a tree, a big tree, and there was a shade under that big tree. He thought of getting some sleep for some time. In the moment he was trying to sleep, what happened? A small fruit got fall from that tree, and eventually it fall on the nose of that person. And then that person was right, nahi, aapka Bhagwan right hai. Whatever he did is correct. Small fruit on a big tree is right, and big fruit on a small tree is correct. Right? So ultimately whatever Krishna does is benefiting for us. Just like, if you'll see, there is a story of a boy. He studied in India. He performed, he had a very nice degree in terms of his education. And then later on, he went US for doing some job. Now, since every father is concerned about his son, right? And the concern increases when you say that you are going to abroad. Right? Because a lot of thought come like how he is going to survive. What if he'll get a lot of money? How he is going to use that money? Right? He may be wasting it or whatever he may do. So what happened? That child, when he was in India, when he studied, so still he was given very less pocket money, right? And then when he was about to go to US, his father said that, okay, now you are going to US, I want you to give me $10,000 of whatever salary you get. So he was earning a very nice amount, right? He was earning, let's say, $40,000-50,000 because he had done some computer science course, something like that. So his father says that do whatever you are doing there, earn the money, but every month we are going to agree on a fact that you are going to supply me or you are going to provide us $10,000. That child, when he was going from India, he had that intention, I'll go there, I'll do party, I'll enjoy my life because this is the moment, I'm getting that opportunity, I am having that money. But eventually when he heard this news, he was very, he felt very morose that, again I have to give some money to my father. So he went to US, he started earning the money there, and eventually over the period of time, he started providing that money to his father every month. And like this, 2 or 3 years went down the line. And then his father called him that, oh son, now it's been almost 3 to 4 years since you are working there. You have earned a nice mass of salary. So we want you to get married. So please come to India. So he agreed. He said, okay, it's now the time, so I'll come here. So he came to India, he got married, and then people were giving those couple different sort of gifts, right? We see usually, right? They give some crockery or some so on and so forth. So his father, when everything ended, the marriage ended, everything was settled down, his father bought an envelope, and within that envelope there was a check of $1 million or so. $1 million का check था उसमें. And his father gave that check to that child. He opened the envelope and he saw and he was amazed कि जो पापा मेरे से पैसे लेते थे इतना, जो मेरे को he is giving me $1 million. So he got bewildered. He was like, he was not able to understand. He thought some illusion is happening in front of me. So he then still asked his father, like, from where did this money came? Then his father said that, oh son, see, you went to US, you were earning $50,000, right? And that $10,000 that you gave me, I kept saving that money for you. Because if I was not supposed to save that money, then what would have happened? You would have used that money in some other activities or in activities of sense gratification. So this $1 million is your money only, whatever you have worked hard. So now this is the right time that I am going to give this money to you. So then that child got the intelligence that my father, whatever he did, it was right. So in the same way, whatever Lord does, we may not be able to understand at this stage his activities, right? But whatever he is doing is all perfect. That's the purpose of his activity, that whatever he is doing is all perfect. That's why we see there is a very nice verse that describes about the truth, the different sorts of truth of Lord Krishna. When Lord Krishna was in the womb of Devaki, right? The mother of Lord Krishna is Devaki. When he was in the womb of Devaki Mata, and then all the demigods assembled within the palace of Kamsa, within that Karagraha, that we call the jail, and then they prayed to Lord, Satya Vratam Satya Param Tri Satyam Satyasya Yoni Nihitam Cha Satya Satyasya Satyam Rita Satya Nitram Satyatmakam Tvam Saranam Prapannam. कितनी बार सत्य रिपीट हुआ इसमें? So they are glorifying the Lord. They are saying the Lord that, oh Lord, you are Satya Param, means the Satya Vratam. First they say the Lord, you are the Satya Vratam, that once you give a vow, you won't deviate from that vow. And what was the vow that was given to the demigods by the Lord? That he is going to kill Kamsa. Right? Kamsa, what you can say, the intensity through which he was killing people, he was disturbing the elements or creating issues within the society was increasing day by day. And that's when the demigods prayed. Lord Brahma prayed to Krishna, right? Singing the Purush Shukta that, oh Lord, please come. This is the high time now. We are not able to, digest everything. It's very difficult for us. That's when the Lord came. And then the demigods prayed to the Lord at Satya Vratam. That, oh Lord, that whatever vow that you take, you are ensuring that you are standing on that vow. Satya Vratam, Satya Param Tri Satyam. You are present in all the three aspects of creation. All the three aspects means creation, maintenance and annihilation. Creation, maintenance and annihilation. Although when we see across, people say that नहीं, Krishna तो का element ही नहीं, उसमें से विष्णु भगवान maintain करते बस, और क्रिएशन ब्रह्मा कर रहे हैं और ये एनिलेशन शिवा कर रहे हैं. रिसेंटली आई सॉ टी-शर्ट वेयर इट वाज रिटन क्रिएटर एंड एनिलेटर लॉर्ड शिवा, और ऐसा फोटो था भगवान का, राइट? सो पीपल हैव डिफरेंट कंसेप्शन ऑफ दैट बिकॉज दे आर स्टिल इन इग्नोरेंस. दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड दैट दीज थ्रीज आर गुना अवतार्स ऑफ लॉर्ड. लॉर्ड कृष्णा हैज 6 sort of avatars: लीला अवतार, मनवंतर अवतार, so on and according to in different ways. Then this part, these three things, creating, maintenance and annihilation. So these three are done by the three gunas, to which these three figures, that is Lord Brahma in the mode of passion, in the mode of goodness Lord Vishnu, and in the mode of ignorance Lord Shiva. So this is the way through which they take charge of this creation. That's why this sloka says that Satya Vratam Satya Param Tri Satyam Satyasya Yoni Nihitam Cha Satya. That Yoni means you are the one through which everything is originating. A very famous example is given, that of a candle, right? जैसा अभी रूम में भी अंधेरा हो जाएगा, if some other where let's say the lights are off and it's darkness. So I will have a candle, I light that up through a matchstick or something, like let's say it is already lit up. And if you want to light 4 more other candles, then what you will do, you will take the same candle and you will keep on lighting the other candles. In the same way, that first, the prime candle is Lord Krishna. And from that candle, different sort of ams, kalams, swams, everything is coming up. Right? So that's the purpose of it. Satyasya yonin hitam cha satya satyatmakam tvam saranam prapanyam. That's why they say that, that's why we demigods, although people are worshipping us, they are in ignorance, they are worshipping us, but we know that you are the absolute truth. You are the absolute truth, that's why we are surrendering onto you. This is something that the demigods prayed to Lord Krishna. And here in this word, in this verse, if we'll see this Parasya Sakti Vividreva Shuyate, it talks about the different energies of Lord. All of us know what is a CV, right? CV pata hai, resume. Do you know the resume of Lord Krishna? Or CV of Lord Krishna? Anybody knows here? Anybody know what the CV of Lord Krishna? You might have heard about this. I'll give a hint. Shad Aishwarya Purana. So there is a CV of Lord Krishna, which is where Parashar Muni has written that stuff, right? Aishwarya Samagrasya Virasya Sasasya Gyan Vairagyo Seva Shana Bhagaiti Gana. Where he's saying that who is God. And there is given that any person who has who has 6 opulences in full, not just very, a term use hota hai na, when we in this world, when we say that someone is someone is powerful, he is very powerful, basically. But have we ever heard a term that someone is full of power? You have never heard that. Because that full, or when we apply that word full, that can only be applied to Lord Krishna. So if we have, there are these 6 Aishwaryas, anybody knows that? Chaitanya Prabhu. 6 Aishwarya Bhagavan ke. What are the 6 opulences of Lord? Boliye bro. Boliye. So those are wealth. We should remember, all of us should remember this thing. Like we remember ABCD. Wealth, strength, fame, 3 हो गया, 3 more. Knowledge, beauty and renunciation. Health is not there. Health is not there. Krishna, there is no difference between the body and the soul of Lord Krishna. So health is not there. These are the 6 things. What are these 6 things? Wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, beauty and renunciation. So that's why in this world you see, some or the other way, in some tiny quantity, in some minute quantity, we have this thing within us. We are trying to find some wealth, right? We have some sort of strength. We are behind some sort of knowledge, right? So these 6 things is there within us in some minute quantity because we are part and parcel of Krishna. And in this world we see, and given the context of this Mahakumbh and all that is going, people are trying to be God. There are a lot of people, who are showcasing themselves that they are God. Right? Prabhupada says that, Prabhupada talks about this in this lecture. Prabhupada says that Prabhupada says that there are a lot of yogis that you will see who are very true in their aspect of what they are doing. But the real yogi won't claim that he is a God. Prabhupada gives an example that he had a teacher, and that teacher was narrating this incident to Prabhupada where his teacher, when Prabhupada's teacher went to his teacher at his home, he wanted to eat something. And then that teacher told him that, what do you want to eat? He said that I want to eat the pomegranate of Kabul. तो जो अफगानिस्तान का जो अनार होता है वो बहुत फेमस होता है, ऐसा बोला जाता है. तो even I have not heard it, but like when I heard, like we need to do some, like I saw it is actually very nice. So then his teacher wanted to eat the pomegranate of Kabul. So what happened? His teacher was a yogi. And then what he did, he said that, okay, you want to eat a pomegranate of Kabul? Just go to that room and within that, beneath that shelf, just place your hands and get a pomegranate. And that's where he found that pomegranate. The pomegranate was juicy. That's where he was amazed, like he is a yogi. And that yogi never proclaimed that he is a god. But people who are a false yogi, in a dress of a yogi, but internally they are not a yogi. They try to proclaim that they are a god. And still they are doing things which are not mentioned in the scriptures. Right? So from this, what we get to know? We get to know about that, although Krishna, I think it's 9 p.m, right? Oh, we are already on time. We're on time. Yes. So ultimately, just to conclude in some words, what we can understand from this verse is that Krishna is pointing Arjuna to perform his duty, to perform his prescribed duty by giving himself as an example that I have no duty to perform, but still I am doing my duty. So you should also engage in your duty. And in the upcoming verse, you will see how Krishna is saying that if you won't perform your duty, then destruction will take place. Right? So this is some context of this verse. We are keeping it very short because we started around 8:30. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question, any comments? तो वहाँ रहते हो नहीं तो आपको ये चीज़ आपके सीनियर्स बताएंगे ना, आपका जो कार्य करना है, जैसे आप भक्ति में आए हो अभी, तो आप भक्ति में आए हो तो आपको भक्ति के लिए क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है, आपको भक्ति में कौन सी चीज़ आगे बढ़ाएगी, आपको भक्ति में कौन सी चीज़ हेल्प करेगी, और आपको अपने बाहर भी आप रहोगे तो आप बाहर की चीज़ों को और आप भक्ति को कैसे बैलेंस करोगे, वो आपके काउंसलर आपको बताएंगे। वो कब होगा? जब आप आओगे, जब आप लेक्चर्स आओगे। तो आपको पहली बार देखा मैं, जब आप आओगे कंटिन्यू बेसिस पे, तो आपको तब ये चीज़ के बारे में पता चलेगा। करेंटली आपका ड्यूटी, आप तिलक लगा लियो, आप नाम जप करते हो, आपका ड्यूटी यही है कि आपको भगवान की भक्ति करनी है। और बाहर वॉट एवर यू आर डूइंग, आप बाहर जो भी अपना काम कर रहे हो, आप उसको पैरेलली करते रहिए। भगवान अर्जुन को वही कहते हैं ना कि जो आप काम कर रहे हो अपना वो करते रहो, एंड पैरेलली यू ऑल्सो रिमेंबर मी। आप अपना काम करो और पैरेलली कीप ऑन रिमेंबरिंग मी, कीप ऑन थिंकिंग अबाउट मी। तो मन तो स्टेबल नहीं रहेगा ना, उसके लिए समय लगेगा, उसके लिए आपको प्रिपेयर करना पड़ेगा खुद को। प्रिपेयर करेंगे जब आप भक्तों के संग में आएंगे, जब आप भक्तों के संग में आएंगे या जब आपका एसोसिएशन रहेगा। हर क्वेश्चन का आंसर है कि एसोसिएशन, एटलीस्ट जो मैं समझाऊँ, इट इज़ एसोसिएशन। आप एसोसिएशन में रहेंगे, आप चैंटिंग करेंगे, रीडिंग करेंगे, भक्तों के साथ रहेंगे, आपका अपना हैबिट बदलेगा, राइट? आपके अंदर डिसिप्लिन आएगा और लास्ट स्टेज में आपके अंदर डिटर्मिनेशन आ जाएगा, फिर आप सीरियस हो जाएंगे भक्ति के लिए। तो इफ़ ऑन द फर्स्ट प्लेस आप एसोसिएट ही नहीं कर रहे, आप साल में एक बार, महीने में एक बार, 2 बार आएंगे, एंड देन फिर तो उसके वजह से आपके ग्रोथ पे इफेक्ट पड़ेगा। इसके लिए क्योंकि एवरीथिंग इज देयर, हर चीज़ है, द पॉइंट इज आपको आना है। जैसा अभी क्लास है ना, क्लास कंडक्ट हो रहा है, एवरी सैटरडे कंडक्ट हो रहा है क्लास, तो क्लास है, हरी नाम है सब है, आप क्लास आइए, क्लास में बैठिए, लेक्चर अटेंड कीजिए, चैंटिंग कीजिए, अपना रीडिंग कीजिए। तो आप जब ये सब करेंगे डेली बेसिस पे, तो एवरीथिंग विल ऑटोमेटिकली रिवील होगी आपके सामने। हाँ 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 हाँ, टच नहीं होता है, टच नहीं होता है, करेक्ट 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 करेक्ट, उससे बचा जाएगा। आप आप स्पिरिचुअल चीज़ करोगे तो एटलीस्ट आपको इंटरनली बेसिस पे आपको कॉन्फिडेंस मिलेगा। आप वो चीज़ में ऑल्दो आप अपना काम करोगे, आप लोगों के साथ उठोगे बैठोगे, बट स्टिल आपका गोल क्लियर रहेगा अल्टीमेटली। क्योंकि करंटली हमारा वो नहीं है। प्रभुपाद इसके लिए कहते हैं ना कि मेजोरिटी ऑफ अस आर विद इन इग्नोरेंस। हमको अभी भी पता नहीं हमारे लिए सही क्या है, गलत क्या है। जब आपको चीज़ के बारे में पता चल जाएगा कि मेरे लिए सही क्या है, मेरे लिए सही है भगवान की भक्ति, भगवत भक्ति करना ही मेरे वो जीवन का वास्तविक लक्ष्य है। भगवत भक्ति करना, भक्तों का संग में रहना, हरि नाम का जाप करना डेली। आप कितना माला करते हैं प्रभु जी? 16 माला करते हैं, बहुत अच्छी बात है। तो जब आप ये सब करेंगे, धीरे धीरे भक्तों का संग करेंगे, आप आके लेक्चर सुनेंगे, सब करेंगे, रीडिंग करेंगे आप आके, तो ऑटोमेटिकली आप ये सब चीज़ में रह के भी आप अफेक्ट नहीं होंगे उस सब चीज़ों से। ठीक है, हरे कृष्ण। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।